want to welcome all of you to Millbrook's 93rd official opening of school. So who, what, where, when, why, and how? My hypothesis: these are the 6 most important words in the English language, in part because they all lead to the same punctuation, a question mark. Generating questions more than arriving at answers is a critical and timeless skill that the wisest of people possess, and these 6 simple words are the essential keys one needs to unlock the doors of a life worth living, a life of meaning, of purpose, of connection, and of consequence. Positive psychiatrist and Millbrook School trustee, Dr. Samantha Boardman, says that curiosity by definition lifts us out of ourselves and makes us other and outer-oriented. Being other and outer-oriented is not only important for our intellectual health, it is vital for our mental well-being. So 6 simple keys that empower anyone who decides to yield them to all the adventure, exploration, discovery that the world has to offer. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. Think for a moment about any discovery you ever had in your personal or school life. Flipping a rock over for the first time when you're a child. Going to your first practice of an organized sport. Taking a bite of food that you never tried before. Meeting someone new who becomes a best friend. Asking your parents if you could do something they never knew anything about, maybe even this thing called boarding school, which most people still think is as foreign and fictional as Hogwarts. Inherent in any of these adventures, you internalized one or more of these 6 words. You wanted to know who someone was, what it was like to taste some food, where those tryouts took place so you could make the team or the cast and crew, why that person liked the same thing as you, when or how something happened so that you could use history as a context of your interests. As we turn our attention to more deliberately focus upon our core value of curiosity, I've been wondering about why we at Millbrook have consciously chosen curiosity to be among our 5 core values in our mission. Of all the values and all the virtues in all of the universe, why does this one matter to Millbrook? I don't know if I have the answer yet, but here's my best guess. Curiosity is the matchstick. It's the lighter that sparks the flames of authentic learning. There is no quid pro quo, a this for that, or obsession with outcome. Real, genuine curiosity transcends grades in school, it transcends careers, it transcends paychecks. It keeps life fresh and real and purposeful and wonderful and new. So think about the possible antonyms of the word for a moment. Indifference, apathy. These are characteristics and attitudes of dead-end spirits and immobile minds. No meaning, no purpose, no connection or consequence. Yet the spirit of inquiry, of wanting to know more, of connecting through deeper understanding, helps expand our imaginations and enhances our sense of adventure, both literally and metaphysically. While we bring this value into focus, I can tell you with pride and righteousness that Millbrook walks the walk and doesn't just talk the talk. Mr. Poling, our founding headmaster of Millbrook School, wrote the following paragraph in 1928 when he had just an idea of the kind of school he wanted to create. He wrote, "Students should be given full opportunity to follow their intellectual bent, in one particular direction if and when they show evidence of such a bent. A student's freedom in this respect should very directly align with mastering the fundamental tools of learning, reading, writing, arithmetic. Obviously, great care must be taken not to allow a student to follow a transient or immature desire to delve into some exotic study at the expense of sound scholarship and a rounded education. But for instance, if a student has proved beyond question that he possesses a musical genius and is willing to work hard at developing it, surely he should not be prevented from doing so by a rigid and unbendable curriculum. So I want you to look up Ted Chapin, Rufus Wainwright, Sam Holden Jaffe, Dana Foote, Ava McCoy. These are just a handful of beautiful music-making Millbrook graduates who lived out Mr. Polling's hypothetical example while at Millbrook and now have created their own successful careers involving music. When Locke Baker, class of 1999, wanted to build a handmade canoe as an activity, he did it in Burton Basement. Now, he is a wildly successful custom motorcycle company. He has a wildly successful custom motorcycle company in Los Angeles called Eastern Fabrication. Look him up too. He is the definition of curiosity meets cool. When George DeWitt, class of 2014, wanted to re-rig his father's 1987 Ford Ranger into a photovoltaic cell-run electric vehicle before EVs were a thing, he did it. And he plugged it into the admissions office outlets. And the DMV declared it street legal. And now he's an engineer for Toyota North America, building and perfecting modern safety features for Toyota. Chris Williams, class of 2015, came here thinking life was all about basketball. He could play, and he was tough. He was out of the projects of Brooklyn and the Boys Club of New York. When he was cut from Hobart's team in the fall of his freshman year, he took an Acting 101 class, and he said that the adrenaline on stage reminded him of the feeling he had with the ball in his hand and the team needing a big shot. He credits Millbrook for opening up his mind and broadening his worldview. Now, after 8 years of learning and developing as an actor, Chris was just offered a lead role in a major motion picture produced by Warner Brothers. Once the writer's strike halts and production returns to Hollywood, he will be back here and share his story with you, and you are going to love it. This happens with faculty too, not just students. Consider Mr. Polling's reaction to Frank Trevor. The beginning of the zoo almost sounds like a bad dad joke. So in drives this 22-year-old teacher with a station wagon full of exotic animals. Most heads of school would have called the police. We all know what happened. The teacher's curiosity, Millbrook's support of it, led us to become the only school in the world with a zoo that the Association of Zoos and Aquariums calls the leader in conservation education in America, and a zoo that inspired the late Tom Lovejoy, class of 1959, to be called the Planet Doctor after he coined the phrase biodiversity. Fast forward to this summer. Ask Miss Goshen, Mr. Okoli, Mr. Harlan about their studies at Columbia University's Klingenstein Summer Institute, one of our country's premier leadership programs for independent schools. Mr. Bodenay did a similar program hosted by Mercersburg Academy. Ask Mr. Kelly about building out an English curriculum for the Right to Dream Academy's new program in Egypt. Or Dr. Doerr's trip to Malaysia to present at the World Primatology Conference. Or Mix Hunt's adventure to Sweden to learn a new language. Or Miss Lifter's trip to Colorado to summit some of our country's tallest mountains with the High Mountain Institute. Or Mr. Gundrum's sculpting adventures in Utah with a world-renowned ceramicist. Or ask Mr. Howe or anyone in the science department about retreating right here on campus for a week intensive while they rewrote the science curriculum. I handpicked a few examples, all to encourage you to ask of our teachers what motivates their own questioning, curiosity, and adventures in learning. Ask our veteran faculty about the students they've taught over the years and how curiosity, Millbrook's support of it, and a student's pursuit on this campus stoked the fires of that student's life's passions and purpose. So with this convocation ceremony, we formally begin the 2023-2024 school year. I wish you a year filled with imagination, wonderment, and curiosity. May we all connect and reconnect with the simple questions in front of us. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. And may those questions unlock the doors that we see, the doors that we do not see, and inspire our individual passions and sense of purpose. Throughout this year, I challenge you to ask the extra question, to try something new, and permit your curiosity to lead you to people, places, and experiences that are entirely fresh and unexplored. And if you ask the right question, you may just discover an adventure that's better than anything you've imagined. So now, let's go ahead and make this the best school year we have ever known. Thank you.